How to improve your listening skills. Ilara felt a familiar pang of frustration. English, a language she desperately wanted to master, seemed an insurmountable mountain. Every conversation felt like a linguistic labyrinth, every native speaker's rapid-fire words blurring into an incomprehensible cascade of sound. She knew the grammar rules, recognized many words, yet speaking felt like pulling teeth, and understanding, an elusive dream. She spent countless nights online, searching for how to improve your listening skills and the best way to learn English. The sheer volume of advice was overwhelming, yet a common thread emerged: immersion. It wasn't just about passive exposure, it was about active engagement, transforming the learning process into an exciting adventure, not a dreaded chore. Why you must listen became her new mantra. Listening, she realized, was the bedrock of comprehension, the gateway to understanding natural speech patterns, intonation, and rhythm. Without it, even perfect grammar felt stilted. It connected her to the authentic pulse of the language, revealing nuances textbooks could never fully capture or explain. Her first step was active listening. Instead of just hearing background noise, she started dissecting podcasts, YouTube videos, and movies. She'd pause, replay, and even shadow speakers, trying to mimic their pronunciation and speed. This deliberate practice transformed passive consumption into a dynamic, interactive learning experience that truly built her foundation. She discovered a wealth of resources, from simple children's stories to complex documentaries. The key, she learned, was starting with content slightly above her current level, gradually increasing the difficulty. This ensured constant challenge without overwhelming frustration. She also used subtitles initially, then slowly weaned herself off them for better immersion. Listening alone wasn't enough, the fear of speaking still loomed large. She understood why you must listen, but start talking at home felt daunting. The silence of her apartment amplified her insecurities, making every potential mispronunciation feel like a public humiliation, even when no one was around to witness it. Her breakthrough came with "Start Talking at Home." She began by talking to herself in the mirror, describing her day, narrating her actions, and even inventing conversations with imaginary friends. It felt silly at first, but it built confidence and allowed her to practice forming sentences without the pressure of an audience judging her. Then came the recording. She used her phone to record her voice, listening back to identify pronunciation errors and awkward phrasing. This self-correction mechanism was invaluable. It felt awkward initially, hearing her own voice, but it quickly became a powerful tool for self-assessment, accelerating her speech development considerably. Simultaneously, she embraced reading. Why you must read English became another crucial pillar of her strategy. Reading expanded her vocabulary, solidified grammar structures, and exposed her to diverse writing styles and cultural contexts. It provided a visual reinforcement of the sounds she was hearing, connecting the dots. She started with graded readers, then moved to articles, short stories, and eventually novels. She didn't just skim, she actively engaged, looking up unfamiliar words, trying to infer meaning from context, and even summarizing paragraphs to ensure comprehension. Reading transformed her passive vocabulary into active knowledge. Elara realized that listening, speaking, and reading were not isolated skills but interconnected components of a comprehensive learning system. Each reinforced the other, creating a virtuous cycle. The words she heard, she then read; the phrases she read, she then attempted to speak. This holistic approach was vital. How to practice English wasn't a single answer but a lifestyle change. It meant integrating English into every aspect of her day. From reading news articles to watching vlogs, from listening to music to trying to sing along, every interaction became an opportunity for immersion and improvement. She set realistic daily goals: 30 minutes of listening, 15 minutes of speaking practice, 20 minutes of reading. Consistency, not intensity, was the key. Even on busy days, she'd squeeze in a short podcast or read a few pages. These small, consistent efforts accumulated into significant progress. Why you should practice speaking became glaringly obvious as her confidence grew. Speaking was the ultimate test, the moment where all the input transformed into output. It was where she truly processed information, formulated thoughts, and engaged with others, proving her comprehension and ability to communicate effectively. Moving beyond solo practice, she found online language exchange partners. The initial conversations were nerve-wracking, filled with awkward pauses and hesitant sentences. But with each interaction, her anxiety lessened, and her fluency improved. She learned to embrace the imperfections and celebrate the small victories. Yet, the question, why I always make mistakes, lingered. Every slip of the tongue, every grammatical error, felt like a personal failure, a stark reminder of her imperfections. It was a battle against self-doubt, against the ingrained belief that fluency meant flawless execution, which was far from the truth. Gradually, she reframed her perspective. Mistakes were not failures but stepping stones, vital feedback mechanisms. Each error highlighted an area for improvement, a specific rule to review, or a pronunciation to refine. They became data points, guiding her learning rather than hindering it, a crucial mindset shift. This journey, she realized, was becoming her very interesting story. It wasn't just about language, it was about resilience, self-discovery, and pushing past perceived limitations. Her transformation was both linguistic and personal, proving that persistence could conquer even the most formidable challenges. One memorable evening, Elara was attempting to order coffee in a bustling cafe. She confidently asked for a large latte, only to be met with a confused barista. Her face flushed. She had meant latte, a simple mispronunciation, but it felt like the world was watching her stumble, a moment of profound embarrassment. Instead of letting the embarrassment deter her, she laughed it off, correcting herself with newfound determination. The barista, realizing her effort, smiled kindly and helped her. This small interaction became a powerful lesson: mistakes are opportunities for connection and learning, not just sources of shame. Her English study plan for talking became a detailed, actionable strategy. It involved daily exposure to authentic English, targeted practice sessions, and scheduled conversations. It wasn't rigid but adaptable, evolving as her needs changed and her understanding deepened, keeping her motivated and on track. The plan included specific activities: watching one English TV episode without subtitles, listening to a podcast while commuting, reading a chapter of an English book, and having a 15-minute conversation with a language partner or herself. Each component was designed to reinforce the others seamlessly. She set short-term and long-term goals. Short-term included understanding common idioms, long-term, conducting a full business meeting in English. These benchmarks provided direction and allowed her to track her progress, celebrating each milestone, no matter how small, which fueled her continued dedication. Elara learned that consistency trumped intensity. Even small, daily efforts were more effective than sporadic, marathon study sessions. The brain benefits from regular, spaced repetition, solidifying new knowledge and skills gradually. This consistent engagement built deep, lasting neural connections over time. Her apartment slowly transformed into an English-speaking zone. Labels appeared on objects, sticky notes with new vocabulary adorned her walls, and English music became her constant soundtrack. She consciously sought out English-speaking media, immersing herself in the language even when not actively studying. She constantly challenged herself to step out of her comfort zone. Ordering food, asking for directions, participating in online forums, each interaction, however brief, pushed her boundaries. This proactive engagement was crucial for transforming theoretical knowledge into practical, real-world communication skills. Her listening skills sharpened dramatically. Where once words blurred, she now distinguished individual sounds, understood accents, and grasped nuances. She could follow complex narratives, appreciate humor, and even detect sarcasm. The world of English content opened up to her, rich and vibrant. The sheer joy of effortlessly understanding a complex conversation or a challenging podcast was immense. It validated all her hard work and proved that her systematic approach to how to improve your listening skills truly worked. It was a tangible reward for her persistence. Her speaking, once hesitant, began to flow more naturally. The pauses shortened, the search for words less frequent. She could express complex ideas, articulate her opinions, and engage in spontaneous discussions. The initial awkwardness slowly gave way to confidence and genuine communicative ability. She stopped striving for perfection and started aiming for clear communication. It was okay to make mistakes, what mattered was being understood. This shift in mindset freed her from crippling self-consciousness, allowing her to speak more freely and take more risks in conversation. Reading, initially a chore, became a pleasure. She delved into fiction, non-fiction, and poetry, exploring new worlds through the English language. Her comprehension soared, and her passive vocabulary grew exponentially, making both listening and speaking easier and more enjoyable over time. She realized the profound impact of a robust vocabulary. It was the building block for all other skills. She developed strategies for remembering new words, flashcards, spaced repetition apps, and using new words in her daily internal monologues and external conversations, cementing them. Instead of isolated grammar drills, she learned grammar organically, through exposure to authentic materials. She observed how native speakers use structures, then mimicked them. This contextual learning made grammar rules intuitive rather than abstract, integrating them naturally into her linguistic framework. Ilara made a conscious effort to celebrate every small victory, understanding a joke, correctly using a new idiom, maintaining a conversation for longer than before. These frequent affirmations kept her morale high and reinforced her belief in the effectiveness of her "how to practice English" approach. There were plateaus, moments when progress seemed to halt. Frustration would creep in, and the thought, "why I always make mistakes," would resurface with renewed vigor. These were the times she had to remind herself of her journey, revisit her why, and push through with renewed determination. She actively sought feedback from her language partners and tutors. Constructive criticism, though sometimes hard to hear, was invaluable. It highlighted blind spots and provided targeted areas for improvement, preventing her from reinforcing bad habits without realizing it. Feedback accelerated her growth. Learning English wasn't just about techniques, it was a mental game. Overcoming fear, building resilience, and maintaining motivation were just as important as mastering vocabulary or grammar. Her inner dialogue shifted from self-criticism to self-encouragement, a profound internal transformation. She visualized herself speaking fluently, effortlessly engaging in conversations, and confidently presenting ideas in English. This positive mental imagery fueled her determination and kept her focused on her ultimate goal, even when challenges seemed overwhelming or progress felt painfully slow. Her improved English skills had a ripple effect across her life. New job opportunities arose, she connected with people from different cultures, and her world expanded in ways she hadn't anticipated. The language was no longer just a skill, it was a bridge to new experiences. Friends and acquaintances started asking her for advice on how to improve your listening skills and the best way to learn English. She found herself sharing her journey, her strategies, and her hard-won wisdom, becoming an unlikely mentor to others embarking on similar linguistic adventures. The sheer joy of understanding complex British humor or appreciating the intricate wordplay in an American song was a testament to her progress. These moments validated her entire English study plan for talking, confirming that the effort was profoundly worthwhile and deeply rewarding. Her journey was indeed a very interesting story, filled with struggles, triumphs, and unexpected detours. It wasn't a straight line to fluency but a winding path of continuous learning, adaptation, and unwavering commitment, shaping her not just linguistically, but as a person. She learned that true mastery happened outside the classroom, in the messy, unpredictable real world. It was in the casual chats, the accidental misunderstandings, and the spontaneous moments of genuine communication that her skills truly solidified and became second nature. Ilara stopped focusing solely on the destination and began to embrace the journey itself. Each day was an opportunity to learn something new, to connect with someone, and to push her linguistic boundaries a little further. The process became as rewarding as the outcome. She had not only learned English but had found her voice within the language. She could express her unique personality, her thoughts, and her emotions authentically, without feeling like she was translating word for word, a profound sense of linguistic liberation she cherished deeply. For anyone asking why I always make mistakes, her advice was simple: embrace them. They are not signs of failure but signposts on the road to mastery. Every error is a lesson, every stumble, an opportunity to learn and grow, pushing you closer to your goal. Her initial, "Why you must listen" and "Why you must read English" had evolved. It was no longer just about necessity but about a genuine love for the language and the doors it opened. Purpose fueled her perseverance, making the hard work feel effortless. Elara knew her learning journey wasn't over. Language is dynamic, ever-evolving. She committed to continuous learning, staying curious, seeking new challenges, and keeping her skills sharp through consistent practice and exposure to diverse English content, ensuring lifelong growth. English became more than just a skill, it became part of her identity. It shaped her perspective, broadened her horizons, and connected her to a global community. She was no longer just a language learner, she was a confident, capable English speaker, ready for anything. Her story, starting from "How to Improve Your Listening Skills" and ending with "Confident Communication," served as an inspiration. It was a testament that with the right strategies, unwavering dedication, and a positive mindset, anyone could conquer the language barrier and achieve their dreams. The future, once clouded by linguistic anxiety, now shone brightly with possibilities. English was no longer a barrier but a powerful tool, enabling her to explore new cultures, pursue exciting career paths, and forge meaningful connections worldwide, realizing her full potential. From a timid learner to a confident communicator, Elara's life was transformed. Her English study plane for talking had paved the way for profound personal and professional growth, proving that mastering a language is often about mastering oneself, embracing the journey fully.